Hey, this is former WWE superstar and ECW original, The Blue Meanie. And you're watching the Tell Us About Yourself show on Foxworthy 257. Now, if you're looking to watch a show about people who play the Super Show wrestling card and dice game, I highly recommend it. The Blue Meanie told you! The Blue Meanie sent you to watch Foxworthy 257, or else I'll come get you.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself, only on Foxworthy 257 Twitch channel.
Hi guys, I'm Session Martina, and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself on Foxworthy 257 on Twitch. I'm going to get some cans. Are you going to get cans and watch with me?
Well, hello, folks, and welcome to this episode of Tell Us About Yourself. I'm joined by the co-host of the mostest, SRG Mom, Christy Overby, and the leader of the Dangerous World Order, the best David Starr player in the LFF, the one half of the LFF World Tag Team Champions, Sean Loeb, as our guest today. How are you all doing today?
Can't complain.
Oh,
doing well.
Yep, kitty cat.
Natty said she wanted to join on.
Yep, that's where all my views are going to go up, just because of everyone likes to see some pussycat on the screen.
Right? You want to come back, Natty?
Yep. You
can do the show too. She went to the other side of the bed.
Thank you for this sub, Evil Ed. Why is that alert box still going off? All right, so we're going to get a flurry of our normal questions for you. So Evil Ed, the cheesehead, would like to know, cheese or pickle?
Cheese.
Cheese? All right.
I don't dislike pickle, but you can't top cheese.
All right. And then he would also like to know, fox or sheep?
Well, I think I'm supposed to say sheep here.
Yeah,
I think I'm supposed to say sheep here.
Yeah, this is a good time to lie on screen. And Kirk Polka would like to know, pineapple or sheep?
Well, I think I'm supposed to say sheep here too.
Yeah, and
that's two sheep for those that are counting at home.
Yeah, two sheep. And Master Micah is saying he met one of these three people 2 weeks ago. And it wasn't me. And it wasn't him.
It wasn't me.
It was me.
Yeah. Well, that's good. He met the best of us, at least.
I almost drove all the way out there. And then for some reason, they asked me to come in at 8 a.m. on Sunday. And I was like, yeah, that's a 2.5 hour drive to Cleveland and back. I can't do it. Or Columbus and back.
Yeah.
If they had said like 11 a.m., I might have. Yeah.
From our house, it's a little under 2.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, I was in Toledo then.
Oh, that's an hour and a half.
Oh, dang! I definitely would have.
We're north of the city, so Casa Overby is up north.
Yeah, I was like, I know I won't make it in time, and I'm not leaving here till like 8 o'clock. But I'll go hang out for an hour, grab lunch.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, folks.
And then they said way too early.
So get your questions in the chat, but we're going to start off with, so how did you get into the Super Show card game, sir?
Gen Con 2015. I went with the Sawyer brothers, and they found the game, demoed it, and day 2, they're teaching me how to play in the hallway. And a picture that did end up on the Gen Con website was me learning how to play Super Show.
Okay. I was there for 2015 Gen Con. Obviously, I didn't know anything about Super Show. I was doing other things, but I was at that one.
Completely wrong. EDM was completely busted, and I had to play against it. Somehow still came back.
EDM was completely busted is something you would only hear in 2015.
No, when you would only hear if you were playing wrong. We did not know that everything cleared when he gave me the demo.
Oh,
So EDM sub finish just goes right back on top, and you're like, cool, I'm gonna play it again.
oh, yeah, yeah. That would definitely change the way the game plays. Yep.
Definitely top 10. Then EDM is top 10 in that format.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it kind of makes Dasmodius kind of useless in that
Oh
regard. But
yeah, yeah.
to make EDM better, why not? Like, all right. So, how long was it before you started getting like up and running and like on your own and like branching out? Like,
Um. So yeah, 2015. There was three of us that played in Michigan.
okay.
So we really only played at Gen Con or if we were hanging out. A couple years later, we got Gary involved, and he started really trying to put together a locals. We never had a super big group, but we got up to like 8 or 9 before everything had to shut down, and he moved away.
Okay.
Uh, and then so for probably 3 4 years, the only time I played was Gen Con.
Oh, that's So were you like, since I don't really know your history of how well you play, I know you as a top tier player these days, but how were you in those early years?
Uh, 2015, I teamed with someone random in tag team, so that didn't really go too well. Uh, I went top 8 in the world with Rising Sun because Circle of Sun really good. Only person that beat me in the bullet rounds was Pat Mulligan. Right after he talked about scooping to me, because John yelled out that there was a bounty on his head. We're in the middle of the game. He's like, "Well, now I kind of just want to lose so that you get the prize." Before he hit me with an atomic clothesline with 3 cards in his hand and got the count out.
That sounds like a Pat Mulligan move.
As soon as the crowd meter went up, I hit him with the circle of the sun and rolled 6. So
Oh,
I had a chance. I had a chance.
yeah.
Before he got the count out, I did hit him with the circle. And then I lost to A6 in that event in top 8 by King Cold, I think it was.
Oh, man, sixes are not a lucky number for you.
Nope, rolled the 555.
All right. So we have a couple questions coming in the chat. First off, the AHS 101 would like to know if you're wearing a shirt.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
He does
Actually,
not
how
hug
many?
his
How
cat
many?
shirtless.
How many bits is it for me to take the shirt off?
I don't know. It's more of a like Twitch could shut my channel down for nudity type thing.
Male nudity.
Yeah,
You act
Twitch
like I
is
don't
really
have
weird.
pasties on.
Yeah, Twitch is very weird with toplessness. Most likely because they don't like sex work.
Yeah, yeah.
Candyman would like to know, Candyman or Candyman Dan?
I think I'm supposed to say Candyman here.
Candyman? All right,
I
I
think I'm
guess.
supposed to.
You might. Favorite Rack Pack members?
Y'all keep asking. Oh well,
Yeah.
Scotty and Candyman are the ones that I know the best.
All right.
I have not got to interact with Yasmin that much.
Yeah, makes sense. Candyman would like to know who is the leader of the line.
Uh, isn't that Fox?
I mean, that's what smart people say.
I know that there was rumor there was Mallory, but
Yeah, I saw that, but let's not let people think we're in like this mega super faction, which actually, if you combine the two factions, would probably be really strong faction.
the Dangerous Line Order.
Or the Wool Line Order. Yeah.
Hold the wolf.
Hold the wall.
Hold the wool. Yeah. All right. And VHS 101 would like to know who is the leader of the crime wave.
I think the boss tries to say him,
Yeah, I mean,
but he didn't even make the faction war team, so I don't know.
that's leaders don't need to make we know Calais is the leader of the higher class, but he's not on their team because he directs it all and manipulates it that way.
Yeah,
That the only problem is You got the boss manipulating
I'm
Prime Wave
not-
is like trying to herd 3-year-olds. So.
I mean,
True
there's not
statement.
that many to herd.
Yeah. I mean, they managed to put a team together, so that was a big question mark. And I think they
Had
have
to
a
bring a
couple
couple
good
people back.
Yeah. And now he wants to know if Uberstar is that crazy.
Oh, I love
Yes.
Uberstar.
Yeah, Uberstar is amazing.
He's one of the best tag team partners I've had.
Oh yeah, he's also great in like I don't know if you've seen his new finished sub art where he's where he murdered the original real Brian Waitford Schmidt before it got replaced by this Schmidt, David Schmidt. So you know.
Oh no, David Schmidt's a different guy.
Oh okay. Oh right, this is the other brother, Mortimer Schmidt. More Schmidt.
Yeah, I was gonna say David Schmidt's an actual Schmidt.
Yeah. Yeah, but Uberstar did murder the original Brian Waitford Schmidt. Okay, VHS want to know he may be on the dojo tonight. That's a weird. I think he's referring to Uberstar, but that's still a weird question to ask Sean. But
I don't know. Superstar might show up.
yeah, I mean, I guess if Chris Pate gave you any hints about what's going on, as he is the guy who's turned the dojo around when he replaced the horse, which is kind of hard not to.
I mean, last week was kind of a stacked team.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch last week, so I have no clue. But
it was John P. and Chris Pate.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah,
I do not think many cards were given out.
Yeah, I didn't look. I looked for the sales the next day, and there wasn't really any that was worth ordering. So
I got a few, I think.
Yeah, that's how I judge how the dojo worked. Like,
like the new 25 and 27, I think. The become finishers if they stop a generic.
Yeah, the Chris Pate hate cards.
Yeah, those.
Yeah. I find the only one worthwhile in that is the 26. The one that stops sharpshooter and becomes a finish roll.
Yeah, I don't know. The 25 is pretty good too. There's a lot of good generic grapples that just because they're all +1/+1/+1, you can find them that kind of tailor to your character.
Fair.
Strike is like Strike's the one they're just sort of
The problem
like
with
you have
Strike
Atomic Splash.
Yeah, but the best one really that you see the most is Death by Elbow, which can be an unstoppable anyway. Yeah. Well, I mean, if the person's playing it right. But so it's one of those weird things where it's like, okay, it's okay, but
yeah, because I don't know, generic strikes are definitely the worst.
Yeah.
And generic subs would be the worst if you did not have sharpshooter.
Yeah.
That is pretty much the only generic non-skill requirement worth playing.
Okay. All right. So Candyman is coming on with another hot fire question. Most annoying DWO member.
Oh, probably me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If not, I'm not doing my job right.
Yeah. Makes sense. Micah would like to know, will DWO country continue to spread up north? Will Indiana become part of their territory?
I mean, it's possible come Gen Con.
Yeah. I mean, Gen Con's going to be a very interesting seed for Super Show, I think.
Yes. I think with a lot of the bigger companies pulling out, this could be a very good year. Not necessarily the bigger companies, but the overseas companies aren't going to have as much of prevalence as what I've heard. So that could really help. It might hurt that there's not as many people, but...
So, Candyman, I did not skip your question. You asked who the most annoying DWO member was, and Sean answered himself.
That said me.
Yeah, so we did not skip your question.
I flood all of your timelines with my pettiness.
Yeah, I mean, he's the memes dealer, and the older you get, the more annoying memes come. Like, you get off my lawn is pretty much like the anti-meme thing for the internet, whatever version that would be. I don't know. We have to ask Big Jim Bias. He's very good with, like, being old.
He does like people not standing on his lawn.
Yeah. I mean, he's just old. He's old and he thinks old. All right. So I'm gonna go with the famous questions Cannoli pioneered: 3 favorite male wrestlers and 3 favorite female wrestlers,
Currently,
or all time, your choice.
I mean, Kane was my first favorite wrestler.
Okay.
Uh, he kind of had everything you were looking for in the late '90s, early 2000s wrestler. Had the mysticism, the size, the power,
Yeah, and he
and he
wasn't a
could jump off
dentist.
a
He,
yeah.
he wasn't a dentist. That was the biggest part. He was not a. So. All right.
Uh, I've really been enjoying like Kenny Omega's just been putting on great matches all over.
Plus, he stole your gimmick.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, he's also a collector.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know who number 3 would like. I haven't been really keeping up with Ricochet, but when he was Prince Puma, I was really into it.
Oh yeah. He is one of the he went from being the greatest wrestler in the world to just some random dude on WWE.
Yeah,
He doesn't even get an entrance anymore.
Yeah.
no, he really just
Like-
shot himself in the foot by signing with
Yeah.
them. And I had high hopes when he first got to NXT, and that feud with the Velveteen Dream
Oh yeah.
was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I mean,
Still
he got
one of
to do
my
so much.
favorite spots ever was flipping out of the ring. Like, I could do anything better.
Yeah. I mean, and you're talking about a guy who I followed his career from IW Mid South Chikara era, early 2005, 2006. For years, it's like, oh man, this is the greatest wrestler. And then
Right?
as he got better, going on and on from when he was this 120-pound twerp, uh, to being
I've
who he
really
was.
been
But, yeah.
enjoying the Osprey change too,
Yeah.
because he started out really small, and he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna beef up. I'm gonna be the big guy they want, and I'm gonna still move like I was.
Yeah, I mean,
And
he's admitted he doesn't move exactly the same, but
yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean,
it's
you
enough.
gotta.
It's
He
enough.
had to
Yeah.
completely relearn how to.
Wrestle. Yeah.
But he's not bound like the normal big guys are. He's still
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
athletic and mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is a new. It's going to be far more common in wrestling going
Mhm.
forward.
Well, yeah. I think Kota Ibushi kind of was doing that because he just went into a powerhouse, and still he's like, yeah, I'm still a cruiserweight. Hey, ignore all this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the insane thing is when you think about it, cruiserweight used to be 225 or under. So
Yeah.
a lot of the '90s cruiserweights were actually bigger than some of the heavyweights are now.
Yeah. Because what heavyweight is at 275 now? I think is when it.
I don't know what New Japan does, but I know for most American things, a lot of them are starting at 215 for their heavyweight divisions.
Oh.
For
Yeah, I
people.
don't remember who it was.
I mean,
that
WWE
messed up
went down
on-
to 205 for their cruisers, and even
Yeah.
then, you'll throw in a 190-pound Finn Balor.
I know someone messed up in New Japan, and he's like, "Yeah, that guy's heavier than I am, and I'm a cruiserweight. I'm a heavyweight. He's a cruiserweight."
Yeah.
It's like you're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it should all be about moveset. That's one thing Impact and TNA did well is that their X division wasn't based on.
Yeah,
It was
the X
based on how
division
they
was
wrestled.
not cruiserweight.
Yeah, it was based on how they wrestled, not based on their size.
Wait. Mhm.
When I saw AC Baby going for the X division title, I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely not the cruiserweight.
Yeah. All right, and then we still had your 3 favorite female, I believe.
Asuka, Becky, and oh, I don't know. There's just, I guess, Lita. It was like, there's not any good current that really that I'm paying attention to.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
AEW
still-
has a few, but
Yeah. Chris Pate is pointing out Tay Conti.
yeah.
Yeah.
She was a wonderful person to meet.
She's not the most polished in the ring as a wrestler.
Well, so I was sat down at the panel, and apparently she wasn't a wrestling fan growing up.
Well,
So
I
I
mean,
don't
she's not
know,
even,
like
she's Brazilian, I believe.
Yes, Brazilian.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very very heavy accent. I know she called Sammy Guevara out for told him he's not a Spanish god because he can't even speak Spanish.
Wait. Which is weird because I think she's Brazilian, which isn't Spanish
Yeah.
anyway.
No,
She
she
speaks Portuguese.
she was going to
Oh, yeah.
they were going to have a conversation. She was going to speak Spanish and she was going to speak Portuguese.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "You can't even speak Spanish. You're not a Spanish god."
Yeah.
So Darby asked him to prove he could, and he said, "See."
Yeah.
So
That's good. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, she is a hell of a jiu-jitsu person, but she's still a little raw in the ring, I think, personally. But
yeah, she didn't get into how she became interested in the wrestling aspect. Because usually, if you're not a fan, that's not something you really gravitate towards.
yeah, I thought she was a product of the way WWE did their signings, because I think
Yes.
she was signed right to NXT, basically developmental, because of her skills in jiu-jitsu and whatnot.
Yeah, she said she just wasn't really happy in WWE and didn't know if she was going to keep wrestling because
Yeah.
why would you after you leave them?
Yeah, I mean, look what they're doing. Look what AEW's doing with Jade Cargill. You know, it's taking somebody that's athletic that has the raw skills and then teaching them wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the look. I mean, like, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
one thing with WWE is it doesn't, even being able to teach the people the wrestling skills isn't always the issue. It's the look. But obviously, her being a accomplished Brazilian jiu-jitsu person, right there tells you she has the raw talents to be a wrestler. Whether or not
Yeah.
she could be a sports entertainer was obviously the issue for WWE.
Well, and it's tough because I don't think WWE likes people with accents. Like if it's a very heavy accent, I think they
Right,
just
yeah.
sort of they don't want to give you the mic.
Correct.
And if you don't have the mic, it's hard to get over.
Yeah.
Unless you have Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I think if Vince McMahon doesn't understand what you're saying, he doesn't like you automatically.
Yeah, and
that's a fair assessment.
Or if like he just thinks you're too small, or you know, the WWE
there's
is
a lot of things that gets Vince not to like you.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So,
but if you can Superman punch, he'll love you.
well, they never signed Orange Cassidy when they had chances, and he can obviously Superman punch. That's all he does now. Who is a weird guy. Like, I was watching one of his older matches, and like he is so different. Like, everyone was worried when he went to AEW about how he would wrestle. Like, oh, his stupid shit, and he really doesn't do any of those spots anymore.
He starts out with them until people piss him off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, he does the knee kicks and the no hands, but he doesn't do like any of the like just most of the lazy. Like, if you watch his older matches, it was almost all joke stuff, and now he's actually his old matches.
It's been a while
as
since someone
Orange
cradled
Cassidy.
him to sleep.
Yeah, right. And like his old matches as where he never goes to the orange juice to get his pump back up, things like that anymore. Like shit like that. So like even AEW changes wrestlers. Not that Orange Cassidy like didn't have the skills to be a normal wrestler. I mean, that's not his only gimmick he's ever worked under. But
and I thought his gimmick was going to be completely different when I first saw it, because it was just like a clip of him doing the shin kicks.
Yeah.
And I assumed that the dude was just going to drop, like he was just delivering so much power in those slow kicks that the guy was just going to fall over.
Yeah,
like a delay thing. And then that's not what happened.
Which happened on the indie scene. There were people who sold that as like brutal.
Yeah.
Like, it all depended on the people. Whereas in AEW, I think they decided, like, yeah, no one's going to sell this legitimately.
Yeah, well, I did see him on the indie first, but I thought that that's what I was expecting, and it just never came to happen.
Yeah. All right, Master Mike would like to know who in the DWO gets no respect. Oh, sorry, no respect. His keyboard messed up. Not Bino.
I don't. I think that all of us have shown that we can get respect from the top tiers.
Yeah.
We have all won events or held gold at one point in our career.
I'm pretty sure he was looking for him because people do
Probably.
give him less respect than he probably deserves.
Yes.
He's all the way out in Tulsa.
Yeah.
I feel like if he is the one that people don't know as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Though
because he hasn't been around as long.
I will give him credit though. On the Outlaw Mudcast, they said he was the one that eliminated Harry from the Deep South match, even though it was the other way around. But that's what's going to live on in infamy. People are going to listen to the Outlaw Mudcast in the past, and it's going to be Micah who did the eliminating.
And that was a rough one. I was watching. I was like, wait. Yeah. You really lost to the grapple? That's the one that El Phantasmo never loses to.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of those weird things where it's like, wait, they're gonna just let the tag team get to the finals of this,
right?
Like I know people want to eliminate Harry, but you break up the tag team first.
Well, yes, I think that taking out the correct thing would have been to try and take out one of the DWO and one of the McPeaks before everyone focusing on.
Yeah. And even the DWO, I think I would have been safe to assume that both people, the the two DWO and Steel Wool, were going to eat each other alive if they wanted to at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think that at any point that there was going to be three people in that match, it was going to be a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
It was just hard to mathematically make that not happen.
Yeah. All right, so I'm sure I missed other ones. Small finger. Oh, Kirk Polka would like to know who's your favorite person in the LFF.
Frog.
All right.
Frog's my biggest fan, so I gotta give it back.
Yeah, Frog is awesome. So Chris Pate saying he was banned from ringside for that match and he couldn't shout out orders. Shouting out orders sounds like someone who's a leader. So, maybe he's...
No, that's Mallory.
Yeah.
That's Mallory.
Yeah, so I don't think he shouldn't have been shouting out orders anyway.
She was also banned from ringside.
Well, yeah.
Well, there was a whole cage blocking ringside.
Yeah, for birds. You need bird law to actually really navigate those cages.
Looked like more sheep locked up than birds, but...
Yeah. Yeah, Polka's talking about the match was a little rushed, so it happens. Yeah, I imagine.
I think you kind of have to rush a bird cage. Because
if you don't want Cannoli falling asleep and snoring in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the only bird cage I want, so that was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming up against the store closing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big concern that we had to be out by 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you never know how long a bird cage is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is definitely a gamble. And, but Ohio is a home to the Deep South title. It is where it gets defended the most often, is Ohio, I think.
Which is weird, because it's not part of the Deep South.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I think the Deep South title has been defended more in Ohio than the Midwest Coast title has.
Well, that's just because Ohio is
the next
place for Midwest wrestling, for Super Show. Louisville was an up and coming, and they just maybe for Plaid Saturday 4, we'll get back down there.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But with two major Ohio factions that can both run events and run them smoothly, it's hard to compete with that.
So, with your obviously you've been in the LFF for 6 years now, if I can do math, which I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I can. I don't need it on a napkin like some. So, in that 6 years, what has been your favorite live event that you've played at?
Um, Origins getting to the finals with Pate is really close. There's just nothing that can compete with Grand Gathering. Just, it was an experience that I wish more got to enjoy. Uh, I hope next year we get to do the in-person one because the virtual Grand Gathering just can't compete.
That's fair.
Just all the wrestlers there were friendly. They gave you their time. They played games with you. Uh, they were there to have fun and enjoy. So, Bound for Glory was a really interesting one because after our event, we got to go watch a live show. The There was some issues with that, as anyone that was there can attest to. There was definitely some problems, but it wasn't anything the company did, and the event was still great. It was more, I feel like Impact didn't really live up to their end of the deal.
There were some seating challenges.
Yeah. We were all supposed to be in one section, and somehow it turned into uh, this section's full, but Clace was asking where to go, and they're like, no, that's going, but they're getting turned away at the bleachers. So, like, match 2 or 3, they finally pull out more chairs and create a row for us on the floor. But we were also, there was like 2 or 3 groups on the floor. So it went from we're going to have our own little private section to we're in 4 or 5 groups throughout the arena.
Yeah, that does sound like a logistics, like a more of a impact
And
slip through the table. My fingers.
Impact's like, yeah, we'll have talent come by and hang out for a little bit. You'll have some meet and greets. But I guess what they told the talent is, yeah, if you have time and feel like it. So Sammy came and hung out with one of the Chris brothers for a while because Sammy's gonna. If we're in the building, Sammy's hanging out.
Yeah.
So, and then like Joey Ryan stepped in and hung out for like 3 minutes before walking back out. Really quiet, laid back dude. He wasn't anything like the character, but well, I guess he kind of was. looking at all those allegations, he kind of was, but he did not seem like it there.
Fair. Oh, Christ, I haven't looked to see if I had questions in the Zoom. I keep forgetting to turn it on. Nope. Okay. All right. So yeah, it sounds like Grand Gathering was a hell of a time, and hopefully,
It was just 4 days straight of Super Show, from waking up to going to bed, drinks and good times to be had all through the day, because we were on the top floor of a hotel in a banquet room just for us. The bar was up there too, so we did get a few people to come over from the bar and demo, and because you know how a Super Show event is. If you're anywhere near it, you're going to end up there.
Yeah, definitely fair, and it'll be interesting to see how the New South show in the Philadelphia area goes for PAX Unplugged. To see,
It's New South in Philadelphia. That sounds kind of weird.
so like, cause that's what Bell announced that at PAX Unplugged, the New South promotion is going to be throwing a show up in the Philadelphia area. I think actually technically over the bridge in New Jersey, and it's one of those weird things.
Going almost as more north as you can.
Yeah, it's almost like bring the Deep South title up to Ohio type thing. It's like we have local promotions in the area, right?
Yeah. There's people you could have talked to.
It's like there's a reason why there's a shit ton of independent wrestlers in New Jersey. Like, it is like one of those hotbed areas. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
well, you're close enough to New York that you can go and grade all their promotions too.
Well, it's also Philadelphia was very like if you look at AEW's roster, almost every single one spent time training in Philadelphia for a good bit. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
not just Ring of Honor, Chikara, like those were like Philadelphia was always where their training centers were. Like Wheeler Utah is a Philly boy, uh, and now he's starting to be on AEW. So's Cassidy. Well, Cassidy's Philly area. Chuck Taylor lived here for like 10 years when he was training.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know most
so,
of the local Michigan promotions.
yeah.
I did go to one the other day at Taco Fest, but I had to leave Horatio in the car so that they didn't get jealous.
Mhm.
I saw their tag belts, and they definitely wanted ours.
That's fair. So Young Allergy is saying, is the tri-state area covering 12 states now? Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's okay because the Midwest coast is like 30 states, I believe.
It's the everything that's not in the tri-state or the South, including like
Mhm.
Australia,
Yeah,
Africa, Russia. It's basically it's literally everything. Alaska. All right. So Micah would like to know if you want a shot for a solo title, what title would you like to earn?
um, I would like another chance at the Underworld. I felt like I was really close to getting it off Boca. Uh, so that seems like another one. I mean, the world title's just bonkers, so it's hard to get that off someone.
Yeah, but it's one of those stat boost things. So that's
Yeah, oh
always
yeah,
good for a
yeah,
certain character.
yes. I
Turn into
yeah,
a
it's
membership
just
ring. Well,
oh, the
potentially.
membership ring with collector is
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah. All right. Young RG's pointing out that he would like the LFF to doodle what they think a tricycle should look like based on what they think the tri-state region is. Yeah, probably a lot of wheels. Yeah, that's fair. But so
Or a triceratops.
Triceratops. Yeah, that's the one with all the spikes. I think. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, apparently. Yeah. Some titles aren't exactly descriptive of what they cover. You know, just the way life is.
Tri-State was originally. I don't even think it was a full Tri-State because I don't think Pittsburgh had a chance.
No,
Like it
because
always stopped in Philly, even when it was Tri-State.
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
even then, originally, I think from what I've heard, it was just New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. That
Yeah.
tri-state, which is
Oh, I thought some Philly people got a chance at it originally, but
eventually, but like every time it was like seemed to be grudgingly until it got opened up to like every other state. Like, because I think
even then, you still see mainly the
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, like it's still mainly well, no, I mean now it's going New England a good bit now. It's getting its reps in New England. It had a couple, at least one Philly, yeah, because Amir had the title belt for a bit,
yeah.
which was
So it's
nice.
tri-state and original colonies.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, yeah, that's what Mike is saying. But the problem is, a lot of the original colonies are in the Deep South title too. It's the original colonies that didn't rebel during the Civil War title.
Okay.
The ones that stayed original colonies.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Well, I thought the colonies were all. Never mind. Yeah, I'm not getting into that historical discussion.
Well, no, yeah, because it would be Virginia and whatnot.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Yeah. Which
Got it.
were rebelling colonies.
Right.
Yeah. So a few of them would be down there. I mean, but there is a bunch. I mean, it covers a lot of people though, because you have Long Island, which is 7 to 8
Most
million
of the
people,
player base.
and one of them is
Mhm.
responsible for sending a thing to Candyman. I don't know if she ever figured out who it was. That was funny. All right.
It was probably Loudmouth,
Yeah, makes sense. All right, Chrissy, you have
even
any?
though he doesn't live on Long Island.
No. You have any questions for our guest?
I do. In fact,
Yeah.
you kind of almost stole some of my thunder. So sometimes in the group, we'll see where Butters or Christmas McMillan is carping about, being a traveler and Bob Dunn, but not a lot of people know, Sean, that you've put a lot of miles on your car attending events. I know that, Keith and I travel quite a bit. We've run into you in Huntsville, Alabama, obviously Michigan, Ohio, Florida. So
yep, if I show up on the Florida regularly.
Yeah. So who's your favorite promotion to go visit? Like when you're planning your trips, how do you plan those around? What do you plan those around?
Distance mainly. Like if I can get there within 4 or 5 hours, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky's a special case because they, it's just such a great group and they put on such a big event. Like Plaid Saturday is a huge creative character that just kind of we live in a place where we get a melting point of all of the states, it seems like. Whereas like some of the others, you get like 4 states represented. I feel like we're regularly 7, 8
mm-hmm.
in the Midwest. So I like that. The Florida group is great when I go down there. I drive an hour and a half every Sunday to play with them. But
so what's a group maybe you haven't visited that's on your list if you weren't constrained by driving time?
So I'd like to go play on an AU. Like I've went to Philly and didn't get to hang out very long because I was not on the rental car, so I was kind of like stuck going where they were going.
Fair.
I really wanted to play in the New York store till that was a not place to be.
Yeah.
So, I think the big stores that you really you have to see for Super Show are Recess Games, and you have to make it down to
House Rules.
No, well, yes, House Rules is great. I like that they will actually, you can order from them anywhere, but Comic Book World. The Comic Book World was just, for so long, they were the place to go for Super Show if you weren't in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really looking forward to them getting back to live events.
Yeah, that's one place we haven't been.
I only got to go, I stopped in a couple times just on my way back from Florida, but I only got to go like twice for an actual event.
I'd be remiss not to point out Highlander, because Highlander, one of the beauties of Highlander is it's a nice gaming play. Medved's is awesome, but Boonton is actually a pretty big area for independent wrestling in New York, or in the New York, New Jersey area. So there's like shows in that area like every weekend. So like when he does tie it together and it works for them to tie it in with events, it's just a great idea. I haven't been able to get up there in a while. Because
that's just slightly too long a drive for me if I'm going alone.
Yeah, but
or like it has to be a couple of us to make it really worth it. It's hard to do the solo trips.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking of going to their Saturday event, but unfortunately I was at Ring of Honor instead. So it's like, well, you did it on the Ring of Honor day. Ring of Honor's coming to Philly. Let me go to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, you kind of you don't want to miss that one.
Yeah, though the sad part about Ring of Honor is they don't really do meet and greets.
Oh.
Really? They've stopped doing those?
Well, they seem pretty big on the COVID stuff.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, it's been a while since I've been.
Like, I wasn't far from Tony Deppen when he went into the crowd to go talk to his wife and his little baby, but I'm not bothering the guy then. That's just like a dick move. But yes,
I've only been to one Ring of Honor show, and they had a few meet and greets out there. Like I met Marty, I met Flip. One of the guys, I think Josh Woods, big beard, came up and he was admiring mine, and we had a little beard off.
Yeah, I think he is going to be at the next show in Philly in September for Death
Ah,
Before Dishonor, as Death Before Dishonor got moved to Philadelphia from I forget where it was supposed to be,
okay.
because the other whatever place they were going to do it in has really horrible COVID numbers, so they decided like we're going to move it to Philly instead. So I might be
I
going to
mean,
that one.
it's hard not to sell out a show in Philly.
So their first night was sold out way less than MLW.
Huh.
The second night it was a lot better. It wasn't. I still think MLW did better numbers. Uh,
Yeah.
but like they actually had the same number of seats out as MLW did.
Okay.
But they
What?
were still like
Where's MLW based out of?
Chicago?
Yeah,
Okay.
Or is it Milwaukee?
I thought it was
I
technically Vegas area. It's weird. I don't think they really have like an official home,
Yeah.
huh.
but they're doing
Yeah,
a lot in Philly this year because they're
I
coming
haven't
to Philly two more
watched
times.
much.
Yeah, MLW's coming to Philly 2 more times before the end of the year. Once while I'm in Origins, and then in November they're coming back to Philly too. So
The
they're
only
hitting Philly
time
a
I
lot.
actually watched was the battle royale
The-
where they had a few people eliminated multiple times.
Yeah. That's one of those things like MLW. Like the Battle Riot this year's Battle Riot was really good. That's the show we went to, but they filmed a lot for their TV shows that haven't aired yet, which is going to
Ah,
be really good. It was really good. It was a really great show. Like even
yeah,
my one friend who wasn't really like is only getting back into wrestling. He's like, "Oh my god, this is a lot better than when I went to AEW." Like, well, yeah,
and yeah, when I went to AEW, there wasn't many dark matches,
Mm.
but
yeah,
when I was there, it was a weird time.
yeah.
Like they were only doing in person every other week
Okay.
instead of every week.
Yeah, well, when we went to AEW, it was before COVID, and it was their first show in Philly. So,
They keep avoiding
yeah,
Detroit.
yeah,
We asked in on on Saturday, and they're like, "Yeah, we got no clue when we're ever hitting this area.
yeah,
Drive to Ohio." And we're like, "No."
yeah.
Yeah,
It's weird. Drive to
yeah.
Chicago. That's where you want to go for AEW.
Yes, I
It
would love
was
to.
awesome.
Yeah,
It's actually not a long. Like it's only 4 hours for me or so.
Hmm.
So I considered going up for Fan Fest because All Out's already sold out. But
Mhm.
We're going, Sean.
yeah, it's just a matter of $60 and then paying for autographs and pictures after that.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't think anything's really included with the ticket price.
It's not. And they haven't announced the lineups yet for Friday and
Yeah.
Saturday. So
It's just like if you're charging me $60 to get in, you could come down on the price of autographs. I shouldn't be spending $50 on an autograph.
well, the cool thing is that last time when we went in Jacksonville, they did have some free autographs.
Okay.
So like they had Bear Country and oh shoot, I forget who else, but they did have a couple that were free. And then even like Thunder Rosa, I think was like $15.
Okay.
So it's not like you get at Ring of Honor where it's $40 just for flip.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
you can get a lot of stuff signed for super like not a lot.
I spent way too much this weekend.
Right.
Well, yeah, and one of the things about AEW is that's one like them. A lot of them doing indie shows is also useful because generally the prices at an indie show end up being cheaper to get autographs than actually going.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I think Chris Statlander charged me. It might have been 10, but I'm pretty sure it was $5.
Yeah, that like I've done. There's a promotion, BCW around here that does show like 15 minutes from me in this little country bar.
Yeah.
But whenever they're there, it's an Impact show.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they bring in all the Impact people, and the meet and greets are really cheap. They're all just out there selling merch. If you
Yeah.
buy merch, you get an autograph.
Yeah, I mean the problem for me is like I'm a big guy, so like they don't sell merch my size, so it's like I'd
Yeah.
rather just give you money for like your autograph.
That's how I found out Sammy Callahan was going to be playable in the game. Actually, they had an alternate art cranial contusion that he was selling.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
I'm just like, oh, that looks like a Super Show card. What is that for?
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So,
Sorry.
John, who out of all the indie wrestlers you've met who aren't in the game, who would you like to see in the game, and what would their gimmick be?
I mean, I would really like a Suzuki character. I think it could be something simple that just triggers on hitting strikes, but
Makes
there's not
sense.
many left. Like he could probably just be the strike version of Gulak,
Okay.
but need full finishers. But
Yeah, that's fair. And it is Bance the Grind on Suzuki, so that's always good.
oh, I really enjoy watching Suzuki matches just because he has no problem with knocking you the almost. I don't remember if this one's PG or PG-13. So
you can use full profanity if you like.
oh yay!
Yeah.
I won't stop myself next time then.
Yeah, I don't know what shows he's doing in the U.S. I don't think he's doing any near me, but I was like, I keep looking like, well,
There was New York
yeah.
and New Jersey, I think.
Yeah, both northern New Jersey, New York area, so like still a few hours away.
I think there was a New York, New Jersey, and 2 California, but then I just saw North Carolina, I think.
Yes, that's the one I saw recently. Yeah. And
when is that one?
I don't remember. I think Downriver Drew posted about that one.
Yeah, he did. I don't remember the exact date because I'm like, I'm not going to go to North Jersey. I'm not going to go. Like if there was any show I was going to go to, it was going to be the GCW emo show that he was going to be on with Jimmy Jacobs. That would have been the one I went to, but I ain't traveling to up that area.
Yeah, but I'm going to the Carolinas, so now I'm intrigued.
Oh, well, yeah. So you'll get to see his dream wrestler in the ring.
Right? I need to get the lobotomizer signed by Suzuki.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, so we got about 7 minutes left in the show.
Oh, Nightmare King has his hand up.
Okay, we are ready for him then.
Is anyone ever ready for the Nightmare King?
Sean Loeb.
Hey, how's it going?
Sean Loeb.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine. I'm at work. But I got a simple question to ask you, sir.
I have a complicated answer.
It's not going to be a complicated answer. If you were in any company, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, ROH, AEW, and you have a chance to go for tag titles, who would you bring with you, and what brand would you go after for tag titles?
Ooh. Well, I mean, I'm not very athletic, so I'm gonna need someone that carries me. I'm gonna need like a Braun Strowman. He won with
Sean?
a 12-year-old. I think he can win with me. As for the belts, I don't know. Like Raw and SmackDown's titles are really boring right now. Like they just don't look like good belts. I haven't seen the Ring of Honor ones in a while. I kind of like the New Japan belts, and I think that Braun could just throw around most of their roster. So I'm gonna go NJPW because Braun can completely carry me there.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that question, and good luck with more questions.
All right. Evil Ed would like to know, who would you like to play in person?
Play in person? I mean, it's been a long time since I've played TJ in person, and he's wonderful. Like it, Sammy's hilarious when he's playing himself because he's just like yelling at you, like, "No, I draw, you don't." But I've met a lot of the community, so most of them I've got to play in person. I haven't met enough of the Massachusetts guys. Like Evil Ed and Turtle would be a fun one because I always enjoy games against Turtle. So that one and Highlander are definitely places I would like to go.
All right. Young Allergy is telling you need to get your eyes on the Hood Slam Intergalactic Tag Team belt then, because it features skulls, fur, and ray guns on it.
Okay.
So
I'm for it. I'm for it. I have the Double Dragon. I might as well add skulls and ray guns.
yeah, definitely a solid idea. All right.
We were this weekend when Charlie got his pizza spinner belt, so we had to go up and show him the ramen belt on the tag team.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine. Is that going to be on the vlog this week? Or?
Yep. And then immediately after, Tony Schiavone came over and yelled at him.
What? Why would he yell at you? That's just wrong.
No, he yelled at Charlie. He didn't yell at us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair then. I mean, I really don't know who Charlie is because I don't watch Sammy's vlog. I might watch it this week because you guys will be on it, but
it's not this week, I guess.
Oh,
my roommate just watched it. He said it was like Texas or something this week.
Oh, okay. So a lot longer production on those than
yeah.
BTA.
Yeah, I thought it sounded like it was going to be this week when he was talking to us, but
yeah. All right. So at this part in the show is where we use Christy thing of the guest gets to ask a question of the host. So, do you have a question for Christy and a question for I?
what has been your favorite wrestling venue you've been to, Christy? I know you've been all over and seen most of the big centers, and
definitely Japan. Going to Korakuen Hall was pretty awesome, even though it was just a house show. It was just crazy.
it's completely different fans over there.
Oh yeah, like people just sitting there. A close second would be the G1 in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that's just so much history in that building.
Yeah, that was amazing. And then third, and just because it was ridiculously crazy and I'm just getting my hearing back, was the United Center on Friday when CM Punk debuted. So
yeah, that was deafening. I'm not even a Punk fan and I almost cried. So
yeah, I mean, I've never had goosebumps, just goosebumps. And if you go back and watch that Rampage, you'll see Mallory in the upper left-hand corner during most of the matches where it says live. She's got her little feet up on the chair and you can just watch her like in every camera shot. It's so funny.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that show. I just watched the clip later of him coming out. And I don't know. It probably stole the show even over Edge. Because Edge is the other one that really that's the recent comeback you just never thought was going to happen. And
I love that one too.
Yeah. It's weird. So I probably popped more for Edge than I did for CM Punk. But for CM Punk, it's not because I actually like CM Punk more, but I like CM Punk from Ring of Honor and before.
Yeah.
I
think that's gonna be more
like what he became for fifth. Is he, or is he going to be the sports entertainer? Like, it's one of those things where
so.
I mean, like using cult of personality, like obviously is tying. Even though he did use it for a bit in Ring of Honor, it's more his WWE like memories with that. Whereas like his original, like him making a name for himself would have been Missouri, Cantera, AFI, and all that. So it's like it's weird. Like, what are we gonna get in the ring? Is he now the sports entertainer, or is he gonna be the Ring of Honor wrestler?
Did you listen to what he said?
Yes, I listened to what he said, but I also know he has gotten a lot better as an actor. And like, even though he might say things, he might not be the person that can still do, like, 16 years removed from Ring of Honor and doing that type of wrestling, he just may not be that person anymore.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like
I think the
in
intent will be
WWE,
there.
in WWE, you could kind of see him just getting fed up.
Yeah.
Whereas he actually looked like he was
Oh yeah.
excited to
Oh,
be
I am.
working
I
again.
am so excited that he like seems to love wrestling again.
Like that
Yeah.
was the reason. Like I said, I'm not a Punk fan.
Yeah.
I definitely was a lot happier to see Edge come back.
Yeah.
But to see him go from looking so beaten down and done with the business to I get to do this. I get to wake up tomorrow and do it. Like it just seemed like he found what he missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. There's definitely like whatever his return ends up being, it's magical just for the fact that he loves the business again.
He does.
Yeah.
What he does ends up doing in the ring is more like what I'm going to get from it, like who he's going to be as an in-ring competitor. Like it's going to be whether or not, like to me, this is the old Punk or WWE Punk. But that will never change the fact that he loves the sport again is great. Because even if he's not the in-ring wrestler I want him to be, he's still going to be that same guy on the microphone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's very hard. Like, and to be fair, AEW has tons of in-ring talent.
Yes.
Like,
and I think that the microphone has been lacking in a lot of companies lately.
Yeah. Well,
I think that's just the
AEW
thing
is
that you
definitely the
can't.
one that's best for it.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you throw, I mean, if you got Eddie Kingston
you-
and CM Punk on your roster with microphones,
and MJF.
And MJF.
MJF, yeah,
And MJF.
And Jericho.
You just have so much talent on the mic.
They probably
which is that's the part of wrestling you just can't teach.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they got like Eddie Kingston's probably the most underrated person on the mic for the like best mic skills because he was never in WWE or was never super, but the guy is just magical on the mic.
Look for the footage after Rampage ended. Moxley, Kingston, even Sting and Darby talked a bit, and I'm always impressed by Eddie. I didn't like him at first. I'm like, who is this? And then I was like, man, he's so good.
Yeah.
He comes out just so loud and angry, and then
I mean, that's who he is. Like that's
right.
who he is, and like it's a great for him. But like, what's really magical is when he starts talking about things like he makes you care about what he cares about.
Yeah, like when he was talking about, I sat at your mom's table. I'm like, he sat at his mom's table. Like,
you're gonna yell at him after that?
Yeah, I was just like,
And like, I think they one time they put on the clip of him after the Brody show where he was giving the speech to everyone in the back.
Oh yeah,
and it was just like, holy shit, man! Like,
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah. He's a locker room leader for sure.
Yeah, he's
I believe it.
He definitely and he's obviously one of those people that's never been in the WWE.
He's never had the attention as half of that locker room, but he has been doing it for so much longer and has so much experience.
Yeah, like I mean, if one of the things is like one of his biggest moments, like that probably not as many people seen is Chikara had the first ever internet pay-per-view from High Noon, and which was called, and it was the end of their tournament that was in honor of Larry Sweeney, who you'll hear about a lot in AEW because he was like mentioned a good bit during the Mox and that feud. They wear his sweet and sour shirt a lot because he passed away like to suicide back then, and he was best friends with Eddie Kingston, and Eddie Kingston cuts one of like the most like emotional promos like right before that, like. And it's just like, oh my god, like, and it was one of those first moments, like early in his career, semi-early in his career. I think it's 5 or 6 years in, where like you really start getting like, holy hell, if you gotta give this guy like the microphone, he's just going to like, he's gonna just do the world, like he's gonna be amazing. But he like never had the personality that the big companies wanted.
Right.
I don't know about that. Some people just don't want to end up at WWE.
Oh no,
either.
he did. Like the thing is, he got to a point where he was going to retire, but like he was, and he's admitted it a few times. He was an asshole. He was hard to deal with. Like, he knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted out of wrestling.
He
Like,
wasn't going to take anybody's shit.
yeah.
Yep.
And, like, he's someone who, like, he is an incredible wrestling mind. Like,
Yes.
even if you follow him on Twitter, 90% of his stuff goes, like, he watches and he gets influences from is the All Japan in the 90s. Like, which is arguably one of the greatest eras for in-ring wrestling ever. Like, if people ever watch the Misawa and Kobashi and all them, the Four Pillars, or they're just absolutely amazing. Like, I think even Meltzer, like, there's so many 6-star matches from back then in an era where, like, it was hard for people to get 5, like, because he rated harder then. Like, it's amazing. And, like, he's just such that student of the game that he's so passionate about wrestling that, like, he's hard to deal with when it comes to shit sometimes. So it's good that he finally found himself a place. But
Yep.
yeah, Eddie Kingston is. So if people are keeping track on this Twitch stream, food in Philadelphia and Eddie Kingston are two of the topics that will get me trailing off for no end. Because, and Eddie Kingston's not even my favorite wrestler anymore, because the one wrestler who I like more than him has come back from retirement. So,
Edge?
No, Ultramantis Black.
Oh.
Who is also one of those guys, a hidden gem on the microphone that not enough people know about. But he did show up on
I was gonna say I don't recognize that name.
He so Ultramantis Black was a Chikara wrestler. He also did a lot of IWA Mid South, and he would do death matches and things like that. But he, as a storyline character, he was pretty much like a cult leader but of more a bunch like. I would equate him to Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe-ish, like cult leader.
Okay.
And actually kind of with the whiny voice and everything for the largest part of his career. Like, he would have, his sidekick was Hydra, who was this monster, anamorphic monster, who was like a 120-pound guy with, they would put him in a fake muscle suit, who was completely ineffectual at anything. So it was like, so it was basically Cobra Commander and like a comedy bit like leader, and like he would eventually over the course of his career he's gone good guy, bad guy, and things like that. But he's a solid worker in the ring, and like he used to do commentary all the time. But he's to the equivalent of, I would say, like Excalibur, but a little bit funnier commentary. And because he did commentary longer than Excalibur has, but just not for big companies. And he's great, and he's starting to come back now. He was on Ring of Honor this weekend at the pay-per-view because he brought out Incoherence and then did commentary with him.
Cool.
So hopefully he's going to do more. But part of it might be because he can't do his death metal band because of COVID. So who knows? He might, like, when things start opening up again, he might disappear again.
Who is your favorite commentator?
Mine? Actually, ends up being Ultramantis Black. Well, actually, technically, it's not Ultramantis Black, but he's alive. My favorite commentator of all time, the one I loved the most, was actually Larry Sweeney in Chikara.
Okay.
Larry Sweeney, like, his voice and, like, his emotion when he did things was just so amazing. Like, he was such a charismatic and entertaining person who never, because he was never going to have the size, he was never he was never, like, in the era where managers, like, because he committed suicide, I think 2011, 2012.
Yeah, managers kind of faded out for a long time.
Right, so, like, he was getting...
I like that they're coming back.
Yeah, he was getting used in Ring of Honor a bit, but Ring of Honor was never going to make him a wrestler. He wanted to be a wrestler, so they would just use him as a manager, but they weren't putting that much emphasis on it, and eventually depression got to him. And he lost the battle with depression, but he was so amazing. Like, if you ever... One of the clips they do with Chikara is, and it's on YouTube, I don't know what it's titled, but it's the ants, Soldier Ant and Fire Ant, come out, and they would come out to Dave Matthews Band's Ants Marching. And the CD skips. So they just freeze in place. And the pure of Larry Sweeney just losing it and laughing and breaking at the sight of the two ants just freezing until the music gets fixed and then they start
So
walking.
they could march in place.
Yeah, and it was just like it's one of those little comedy moments where you can just like hear like, oh my god, like these people are actually enjoying what they're doing. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, the rumors being that Soldier Ant was Drew Gulak and Fire Ant was Orange Cassidy. In hindsight, is also you're looking at some of the early years of some of the most talented wrestlers to exist. But yeah,
What is Gulak doing these days? Is he still signed to WWE or?
yeah, I think he runs around and follows them when they do their 24/7 title. I think that's pretty
Okay.
much his role.
That sounds
He
like a
hasn't been
waste
doing
of.
it the last few weeks.
Oh yeah, isn't so yeah, who knows?
That sounds like a waste of him.
All right. So someone that was based, maybe that's why Vince let him go because he knew he couldn't push him over. I don't know who Matt Haas was talking about for that one. Anyway, we are 11 minutes over the show because he's got me talking about Eddie Kingston and stuff like that. All right, folks. I believe our guest for next week is going to be Sage, the Wiccan Witch herself.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so it's going to be a really good show next week. I believe Christy's back again next week. So it'll be fun times. So thank you for coming on the show, sir. It was a fun time. Evidence
Thanks
from
for
us
having me.
going so far over and having fun. And thank you. Thanks again, Christy, for co-hosting. And we'll catch you all next time. Later, folks.
Bye.